Probability. Basic concepts. 1. Probability measures the likelihood of an event occurring. 2. The probability scale ranges from 0 to 1. 3. 0 indicates an impossible event, while 1 indicates a certain event. 4. A probability of 0.5 means the event is equally likely to happen or not. 5. The sum of probabilities for all possible outcomes in an experiment is always 1. 6. Probability can be expressed as a fraction, decimal, or percentage. 7. The complement of an event is the event not happening. 8. The probability of the complement is 1 minus the probability of the event. Probability rules. 9. The addition rule states that the probability of A or B happening is the sum of their individual probabilities if they are mutually exclusive. 10. The multiplication rule states that the probability of A and B happening is the product of their individual probabilities if they are independent. 11. Conditional probability is the probability of one event given that another event has already occurred. 12. Bayes' theorem is used to update probabilities based on new information. Probability distributions. 13. A probability distribution shows the possible values a random variable can take and the corresponding probabilities. 14. The binomial distribution models the number of successes in a fixed number of independent trials. 15. The Poisson distribution models the number of events occurring in a fixed interval of time or space. 16. The normal distribution, also known as the Gaussian distribution, is a bell-shaped curve. 17. The uniform distribution assigns equal probability to all outcomes within a specified range. 18. The exponential distribution models the time between events in a Poisson process. Probability in everyday life. 19. Weather forecasting uses probability to predict future conditions. 20. Insurance companies use probability to assess risk and set premiums. 21. Quality control in manufacturing relies on probability to ensure product reliability. 22. Genetics uses probability to study the inheritance of traits. 23. Game theory involves strategies based on probabilities. 24. Statistics is the study of collecting, analyzing, interpreting, presenting, and organizing data, often involving probability. Mathematical concepts. 25. Expected value is the average value of a random variable over many trials. 26. Variance measures the spread of a probability distribution. 27. Standard deviation is the square root of variance. 28. The law of large numbers states that as the number of trials increases, the average outcome approaches the expected value. 29. The central limit theorem states that the distribution of sample means approaches a normal distribution as the sample size increases. 30. Markov chains are used to model sequences of events where the probability of the next event depends only on the current event. Probability in games and gambling. 31. The probability of winning the lottery is extremely low. 32. Blackjack is a game of skill and chance, where probability plays a significant role. 33. Roulette is a game of pure chance. 34. Poker involves both skill and chance, with probability influencing decisions. Probability in statistics. 35. Hypothesis testing uses probability to determine if a claim is supported by data. 36. Confidence intervals provide a range of plausible values for a population parameter. 37. Regression analysis uses probability to model relationships between variables. 38. Time series analysis uses probability to forecast future values of a variable. Probability in science and engineering. 39. Quantum mechanics uses probability to describe the behavior of particles. 40. Reliability engineering uses probability to assess the failure rate of components. 41. Risk assessment in engineering projects involves probability to evaluate potential hazards. 42. Signal processing uses probability to analyze and filter signals. 43. Control systems use probability to design feedback mechanisms. Probability in human behavior. 44. Behavioral economics studies how probability affects decision making. 45. Prospect theory explains how people make decisions under uncertainty. 46. Cognitive biases can influence how people perceive probabilities. Probability in sports. 47. Sports betting is based on probabilities of different outcomes. 48. Sports analytics uses probability to analyze player performance and team strategies. 49. The expected value of a sports bet is often negative due to the house edge. Probability and finance. 50. Portfolio theory uses probability to allocate investments to minimize risk. 51. Option pricing models use probability to calculate the value of financial derivatives. 52. Risk management in finance involves assessing and mitigating probabilistic risks. Probability and law. 53. Evidence evaluation in legal cases often involves probability. 54. Forensic science uses probability to analyze evidence and draw conclusions. 55. Statistical inference is used in legal proceedings to make inferences about populations based on samples. Probability in medicine. 56. Clinical trials use probability to evaluate the effectiveness of treatments. 57. Diagnostic tests have sensitivity and specificity, which are probabilities related to their accuracy. 58. Epidemiology uses probability to study the distribution and determinants of health and disease. Probability and social sciences. 59. Survey research uses probability sampling to ensure representative samples. 60. Political science uses probability to analyze voting behavior and election outcomes. 61. Sociology uses probability to study social phenomena and trends. Probability and environmental science. 62. Climate modeling uses probability to predict future climate scenarios. 63. Environmental impact assessments use probability to evaluate potential risks. 64. Natural disaster prediction involves probabilistic modeling. Probability and artificial intelligence. 65. Machine learning algorithms often rely on probabilistic models. 66. Bayesian networks are graphical models that represent probabilistic relationships. 67. Reinforcement learning agents use probability to make decisions based on rewards and punishments. Probability and philosophy. 68. Philosophical discussions about free will and determinism often involve probability. 69. The interpretation of probability in quantum mechanics has philosophical implications. 70. Probability and chance have been debated in philosophical contexts for centuries. Probability and logic. 71. Probability theory can be used to formalize logical reasoning. 72. Bayesian logic is a probabilistic approach to reasoning and inference. 73. Probability and logic are interconnected in many areas of knowledge. Probability and game theory. 74. Game theory uses probability to analyze strategic interactions between players. 75. Nash equilibrium is a concept in game theory that involves probabilistic strategies. 76. Probability plays a crucial role in understanding the behavior of players in games. Probability and information theory. 77. Information theory uses probability to measure the amount of information in a message. 78. Entropy is a measure of uncertainty or randomness in a probability distribution. 79. Probability and information theory are closely related fields. Probability and computer science. 80. Random number generators are used in computer simulations and cryptography. 81. Monte Carlo methods use probability to estimate numerical results. 82. Probabilistic algorithms are often more efficient than deterministic ones. Probability and engineering. 83. Reliability engineering uses probability to assess the failure rate of components. 84. Quality control in manufacturing uses probability to ensure product quality. 85. Risk assessment in engineering projects involves probabilistic analysis. Probability and physics. 86. Statistical mechanics uses probability to describe the behavior of large systems of particles. 87. Quantum mechanics uses probability to describe the behavior of particles at the atomic level. 88. Probability plays a fundamental role in understanding physical phenomena. Probability and biology. 89. Genetics uses probability to study the inheritance of traits. 90. Population genetics uses probability to analyze the genetic structure of populations. 91. Evolutionary biology uses probability to understand the process of evolution. Probability and psychology. 92. Decision-making theory uses probability to model how people make choices. 93. Perception and cognition can be influenced by probabilistic factors. 94. Probability plays a role in understanding human behavior and thought processes. Probability and economics. 95. Financial modeling uses probability to assess risk and make investment decisions. 96. Macroeconomics uses probability to analyze economic fluctuations. 97. Microeconomics uses probability to study consumer behavior and market dynamics. Probability and linguistics. 98. Computational linguistics uses probability to analyze language data. 99. Natural language processing relies on probabilistic models to understand and generate text. 100. Probability plays a role in understanding the structure and meaning of language.